Hearty fraternal greetings and good wishes to all the brothers and the sisters. It's not very appropriate that we have a teaching after a celebration. It could be too boring that we have a teaching after celebration. A celebration after the teaching could have been much better. But each time, the Lord of Time decides in varieties of ways, and we accept it, live it, and live it well. Should there be a class after the marriage celebration was a question. When it is written on the board that it is so, it has to be taken as so. That's how the play is, that normally for every question of why, the answer is why not? Why not? A very young couple, they are married, and that is a great blessing for the group. As you may have all read the book on the sacrament relating to marriage, marriage is the most sublime sacrament. And each time a marriage is performed, it is the spirit joining the nature. It's the person, the cosmic person and the cosmic nature come together for the splendor of it, for the beauty of it, and for perpetuation of purposeful beings amidst humanity. So many are the noble dimensions relating to marriage which we all know. This must be the 72nd marriage that I have done in our groups. And many we have today blessed. The couple were all, most of them, more than 20 I counted. They were also in that situation in the group. They married in the group. And most of you are all married, so you know what it is to be married. From the standpoint of nature, the creation, today is the day that sun joins moon. The sun comes to the house of the moon. Cancer is the house of the moon. Sun travels from Aries. He makes a long travel of 90 days. From Aries to Taurus, Taurus to Germain, only to find his lady. It is always the tradition that the man finds his lady. It's not that the lady is in search of man. This we should know. Because sun travels to the house of moon. That gives the message that it is man who has to look for his lady. The lady sits pretty and awaits the arrival of man. In that there is the true romance. A lady should not step out to look for her husband. She stays pretty at home. Let the man search for him and get him. The nature of humanity is to wait. The nature of humanity is to wait, to receive, to assimilate the incoming energy, and at the same time to offer. So sun joining coming to the house of moon. From Aries 90 days travel is done in the solar year, and ultimately sun feels cool as he finds the house. It's like the man finding his lady and feeling the respite, and he cools down. That's why in Cancer, when you get rains, it is a kind of freshness that happens in nature with the related cool, and the nature also receives with great joy the incoming sun into Cancer. Therefore, 22nd June, when the sun is at home of the lady, it is a marriage which is celebrated in the name of Solstice. In Capricorn, fulfilling the purposes, the sun says, choose. He fulfills his purpose, he fulfills the purpose of nature, and then he mounts, he raises, he moves up, and then he mounts the Capricornian mount. That's why mostly Capricornians are loners, unless they are otherwise compensated by the planetary energies in their horoscope. Capricorns are lone travelers. In fact, the very fact that they are Capricornian would also give them the strength to walk all alone. It is good that when there is a destiny of walking alone, if the related strength is in them. So in Capricorn, there is the ascension. In Cancer, there is the descent. So this descent of sun into nature, and it's a being with the nature through Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. In all these sun signs, there is a very deep communion of the spirit and nature. Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. Then in the fifth house, then the house which follows, that is Sagittarius, already preparations are ahead to ascend. Having descended, the sun ascends. Normally, when we think of male and female, we think of two entities. But it is one entity as two. One entity as two. Because it is originally one that has become two in Gemini. The sun in Aries, he comes down as the one. In Taurus, he finds the nature within. The spirit finds its nature within. Then slowly in Gemini, spirit and nature, they look for being two from one so that they can play. You cannot play when it is all a composite unit of one, male, female. We are all male, female, be it in female bodies or male bodies. We are all male, female. There is female in male, and there is male in female. This we all know, we and our nature. Each one of us is male by him, be it he or she, and her nature or his nature is his lady. So we have our nature. So is the nature for the divine, the spirit. So the spirit and the nature, which have a composite unit, they tend to be two in Germany, to play. In Cancer, they get into a creation, a visible creation. Therefore, it is the male energy entering into the female energy, or the descent of the spirit into nature, which was earlier unequal. This entry gives birth in Leo, the sun. We have to interpret the cosmogenesis in terms of astrology. Why Leo has to be the fifth house, and why astrologers consider fifth house as relating to the children? It's because there is the man, the cosmic person and the cosmic nature, they get into this kind of marriage arrangement in Cancer, and then there is the birth of the sun in the fifth house, and then as the sun is born, he is virgin. That's why we have Virgo nature there. I am trying to give a dimension for you to think. Such things are not in the books. They come out according to time and place when you stand in synthesis. That's why when we see children, they look very fresh, innocent, not yet learned the tricks of the world, virgin nature. Then in Libra, they get into passion of the world. And in Scorpio, they sink. And from the second half of Scorpio, they retrospect or introspect. And in Sagittarius, they think of moving up. In Capricorn, there is the success in moving up. In Aquarius, they reach the sky. In Pisces, they conclude the drama for a fresh beginning again in Aries. This is how you can see the story of the zodiacal signs. In all this, who is ascending? It is male, female at all times together. When we speak of only male, there is already female in him. That's why any theology which speaks of God as male is not a complete theology. In all old theologies, God is male-female. God is male-female. Each one of us is male-female. The male, from the male, the female expresses. This expression, his beauty, his own beauty, he finds within him. That's why there are symbols in the Vedic system with the female in the heart of the male. Female, to each one of us, our heart is our female. If the heart is pure, your female is pure. If your heart is not pure, your female is not pure. When your female is not pure, it is but necessary that you make the necessary transformations. So therefore, to start with, in male there is the female. That is how it is in Aries. When it comes to Libra, it is the female in whom the male is. In Aries, the female is in the male. In Libra, the male is in female. That's the contrast. That's the contrast. So, from this point of the female being in the male, through travel via Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Virgo, Cancer, Leo, Virgo. When you land in Libra, the dominant energy is female. The dominant energy is female. Then again there is the game, slowly, through Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. The equality is gained. So in this game, we only need to see in us how the two, we and our personality. We and our personality. Sometimes the soul, sometimes the personality prevails. Sometimes the soul prevails, sometimes the personality prevails. But imagine a situation where both of them prevail on equal footing as friends. On equal footing as friends. When once we gain the status of our nature being very friendly with ourselves, our nature is not always very friendly with us. That's why we have moods, different humors. Sometimes we are down, sometimes we are very hilarious, sometimes we feel it's okay. All kinds of moods. From where these moods come? From the nature it comes. So how to balance this nature so that it is neither subdued by you nor it subdues you. Your nature should be your best friend. It supports you. It keeps you in good humor. It lets you to fulfill yourself. It helps you in your tasks. So that kind of cooperative nature is but what is said as the cooperative female. Each person has to gain it, be it male or the female, in form. Forget about male-female forms. Whether you are in the male form or in the female form, both of us entertain in us the chemistry of male-female. So in this chemistry of male-female, an eternal balance has to be attained. Then it is said to be a state of yogi. A state of yogi. That is the best option we have when we are in creation. The best option. That you and your nature are friends. That's what we say at the end of the ritual. We have become friends. We have become one in life. And we have realized what it is. So this friendliness in its optimum, where male treats female, female treats male, with equal admiration, with equal respect, with equal responsibility. This is what every theology speaks of as male-female God. In India it is Ardhanari, half Shiva, half Shakti. In Greece it is Adonai. Likewise in Hebrew system it is Jehovah, male-female God. In every system it has to be, unless the theology itself is ill-based. To say the God is male is incomplete understanding. To say that the God is female is incomplete understanding. It's male, female, and it is never separable. The two are in existence at all planes. In all the 7 planes, the two are at play. In lower planes, nature is at greater play. In higher planes, the spirit is more visible. But their togetherness is at all times, even when the creation is in pralaya, meaning in an apparent non-existence. Even then the two are together. That's why when the descent happens, it happens together. The descent does not happen singly. When Adam comes, already Eva is in Adam. If we make a fair understanding, not a male dominant understanding. Where was Eva when Adam, with the advent of Adam, she is within. If she is not within, from where did she come? Symbolically, it may have been said that she came out of his left ribs, but that is all very a crude expression of a very divine happening. So left ribs, do we care or don't we care? We care everything in us. So it is within, it expresses. The nature is within and it expresses. And Adam cannot stop Eve's expression. And Adam never had such intention also. He let the lady within to express herself. And thereafter the lady expresses and the man cooperates. That's how the whole story goes. In creation, the activity is mostly of the nature. It is our nature that leads us into so many situations, isn't it? Our nature. Our nature is our first lady. The lady that we have in life, or the male that we have in life, is only to make the needed adjustments to your nature, they come into your life. That is how the original understanding is. To perfect your nature, you seek the company of a lady when it comes to man, and the lady seeks the company of man, so that together they learn to adjust. They do not learn to adjust because they only look for rights and they fight and they cause divorces. But in the Eastern understanding, marriage is once for life. Once for life. Once we accept a lady or a man, it is for life. I am willing to take this and work out my adjustments. That's it. As we begin with, not everything is. We may imagine a heavenly situation when we marry. We may, isn't it? But in a matter of days, we know that it's not all that heavenly, and we need to make adjustments. This adjustments is for what? Don't try to adjust the other. It's a sickness that we try to adjust the other. We should adjust so that you get an adjustable nature in you. That's how in India a horrible wife is accepted for life, and vice versa. A horrible husband is accepted for life. Accepted for life. Why? Because what for are we marrying? To cause the needed adjustments in you so that your nature and yourself are at one, are in attunement. When your nature is completely in adjustment with you, you tend to be androgynous. You don't look for nature anymore. It is completely with you. Every yogi is an androgynous person. He is a hermaphrodite, which you find in the mythologies of Puranas or in the Greek Purana popular mythology. You find it androgynous. What is the stature of an androgynous person? There is nothing wanting for him from the outer nature, because his nature has fulfilled in him, and therefore he seeks not anything from the surroundings. That's the beauty. So to work it out, marriage is given as a sacrament. That's why it is sacrament. You live with another gender by which you learn your life of adjustments. We want the master to adjust, isn't it? We say master's own adjustments. When we say that master gives you a lady or a man and say, I started the game with you, you start adjusting now. I gave a small talk on adjustment in Buenos Aires. You may kindly read it. It's very funny but very profound in its truth. Just adjust. Please read. It doesn't take more than 20 minutes if you read fast. If you read with much intention, it may take, say, 30-40 minutes. Just adjust. If it is cold outside, don't feel closed. It's also beautiful. If it is cold outside, it's okay. If it is hot outside, it's okay. If it is raining on a solstice day, it's okay. Adjust. Because you can't adjust that, you better adjust. Whatever adjustments we can do, we keep doing. But when it is beyond, learn to accept it. Learn to accept it. Acceptance is already the game half won. When you accept, it is beautiful. When you resist, it is very disgusting, painful, frustrating, and the related terms you can use. I am seeing Peter and Henry laughing over there. I have done so many marriages in our groups, and I keep watching. It is still there or it is changed? I don't see what is. See, the one who conducts marriage continues to watch how the couple is progressing, how the adjustments are happening. Both should grow. The beauty is it should be a win-win situation for the lady and the man. So that's why the whole human life, from this standpoint, is said to be a great romance when one is in marriage. Romantic does not mean only that one follows the other. It is the other way around also. So each follows the other, like one fish following the other fish. We don't know who is following whom. When one fish in a circular movement follows the tail of the other fish, the other fish is also following the tail of the first fish, isn't it? Then it is round sum. In all the symbols there is great message. Great message. You see the symbol of Pisces with the one fish follows the tail of the other and the other fish follows the tail of the first. Who is following whom? So don't expect that the other should follow you. You keep following, the others follow. In Germany, in Agberg, which is where our sister Tamara Piper, she organized a seminar on partnership for 3 days. So to speak on partnership, we have enough material in India. Because in India, marriage system is considered to be the most sacred. Each one gets his partner according to his nature. Each one gets his partner according to his nature. And it is a divine arrangement that you live with it and adjust yourself and tend to be more round sum. All your angles are rounded up. Because things that you like, the other does not like. Things you don't like, they like. In a given time, different dimensions exist, different energies exist. You have to synthesize. Synthesizing is possible only when we know how to follow the other's viewpoint, not to stand by one's own viewpoint strongly. If you hold strongly to your viewpoint, you miss, because it's not a vision. The wisdom says vision is completed viewpoints. From all the 360 degrees. You can see standing on the peak all around. But if you are climbing the peak, you are only seeing one way to the peak. That's why when people say that there is only one way to the truth, it is not acceptable to the wisdom of synthesis. There are thousands of ways. Ekam sat vipra bahuda vadanti. The one truth is expressed in thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of ways. The one mount can be climbed from any point from the circumference in all its 360 degrees. How can you say this is the only way? This is the only way. So when people are stuck in their viewpoints, they are stuck. They are stuck by their own viewpoint, that they do not know. There is a saying in India that an young man with great difficulty could run after a rabbit and caught it by the leg. By the rear, say left leg. He held it by the left leg. And he says that the rabbit has 3 legs. The rabbit has 3 legs. Why? Because the 4th leg is hidden in his fist. He cannot see the 4th leg. He cannot completely see the rabbit unless he releases the grip over the 4th leg. Likewise, the wisdom says, unless you release yourself from your strong viewpoints, you shall never know the truth. Never. How can you know the truth when you are stuck with something very strongly? Hold not the viewpoint, let all other views as expressed be accepted and synthesized, then you have the vision. So that's why to gain that vision, you should learn to. We have in golden states also a readiness to receive and give advice. A readiness to receive and give advice. That should be the way it should be put. But the Kali age is such that to give and receive. If you say give and receive, you are already gone. First you learn to receive advices. And when an advice is sought from you, yes, you give. Mahabharata says, the easiest thing that a human can do in life is to give advice. The easiest thing that can be done by any human in life is to give advice. For the sin of the other asking you, or for the ignorance of other that asks you an advice, you are ready to give an advice. Whether you know it, you don't know it, you just give an advice. So learning to follow is the first step to lead, isn't it? Therefore, if you are willing to follow the view of the other, will enable slowly for the other to follow your view. That's where after 3 days of cardinal principles of living together, I spoke in Akbar. And the last day, that was a Sunday, from 11 to 12, we set up a question answer session. After that, we would have lunch and move towards Munich. So one young man, he stood up. He spoke so well for the last 2.5 days about the cardinal principles of partnership. May I ask you one simple question? I said, yes, please do. Does your wife follow you? He asked me. Does your wife follow you? Then I said, absolutely. Then he asked me, what is the secret? He said, what is the secret? What is the key that she follows? The key is I absolutely follow her. Then the whole group smiled or laughed to hit the top of the roof. If you learn to follow, you would be followed. We always expect that others should follow us. That is our problem. If you learn to follow, you would be followed. Please note that. Every teacher has been a good follower of his teacher. Therefore, he had following. Every teacher has followed his teacher so very implicitly and completely that eventually the student also had his following. That's how this hierarchy is happening. You don't follow and you want others to follow you, no one will follow you. If required, you should follow the advice of a kid also. Sometimes through kid also you get good advices. Sometimes. Again I say one thing which is recently, it is amusing to me. My grandchild who is of 3 years age, his birthday was coming up. So in the morning we were sitting together. I asked him, what shall we do on your birthday? What would you like me to do? You know what he said? If you think, you get ideas, he said. Is it not true? And coming from a kid of 3 years, you don't know from whom what you learn, what you listen. That's why in the book on sound I spoke a lot about the importance of listening more than speaking. You listen to anyone and everyone. That's why we need wide ears to listen. The very symbol of Ganesha with wide ears is only a message to us. My dear fellow, learn to listen more than speaking. Ganesha has an elephant head. The tusk of the elephant does not let really speak, isn't it? It obstructs the sound of speech. Maybe that was the reason why he developed the faculty to listen far. Jupiter, the functioning of Jupiter is listening. He is the Lord of sound. You can listen even inaudible or silence. Inaudible sounds or silence. You can listen to silence if you have developed the ability to listen. That's another dimension. I don't go into it now. But the fact is you should listen. You should listen to your neighbor. Who is your neighbor? Your lady or your husband? This is the only thing we don't do. Isn't it? On account of familiarity, we do not listen those who are very proximate to us. Be it proximate or distant, keep listening. If you listen and accept the other's view, the other also slowly, the other person is accepting what I say. Why can't I also listen to it? It's a game of patience. Without patience, no man can ever expand his awareness into greater heights or greater dimensions. So therefore, we should see marriage as a great opportunity. As a great opportunity to round up the angularities that we carry with each one of us, which we do not see even. No one is willing to see within himself and see what are his problems, what are his shortcomings, what are his or her limitations. We always see others' limitations and others' shortcomings. But how about our limitations and our shortcomings? So we need to look into and to keep clearing a careful examination of our daily natural behavior. So for that, if we have an additional unit of consciousness, together, anything doing together is joyful, isn't it? So they can together do it and each one is helpful to other. Normally, the couple happens where one has the strengths relating to others' weaknesses. Other has the strengths relating to the first one's weaknesses. So we can, by appropriate relation, gain the strengths of the others and get released of our weaknesses, and vice versa. So that in due course of time, we are rounded up and become a wholesome person, that we have a nature which is agreeable regardless of the moon phases. There are no ups and downs in our nature. Until such time it should go on. For that, one lady is enough for one man. One man is enough for one lady. That's how Manu has laid down the law. The law means the knowledge of the founder of our race. Vaivasvata Manu is the founder relating to this humanity. He said, look here friends, this is how you get fulfilled and would become as much as I am. All those beings, they are all androgynous. Most of the masters of wisdom, their nature completely agrees with them, and still, if necessary, they live in families. To set an example, every seer lives in family. The idea is to demonstrate to their followers that you too have to live in family. Once you have a rounded up personality, there is no limitation in you to live with another. There is no limitation. You have one, you don't have one, it means the same. So this kind of fullness is required to be accomplished, and for that the key is seen in marital system. That's why Vaivaswata Manu was harnessing upon the point of the marriage as a sacrament, and in a harmonious ambience between the two. When they conceive children, they give birth to children with harmonious nature. From out of conflict, harmonious children would not come. According to the energy that the two hold, that energy is manifest in its admixture in the form of a child. Therefore, giving birth to harmonious beings into the society is a great contribution to humanity. And that is also considered as a duty, so that we are given bodies, so we also give bodies to the soul to some extent. And thereafter walk together for fulfillment. So thereafter when they walk together for fulfillment, it is walking together. That's why in the ritual, so many things are said to be done together. 7 times they go around. And everything is in togetherness. And the realization is also in togetherness. That's how, in such great heights, the sacrament is conceived. And to do it today is a blessing. That's what I say. In every group life, the group life is fulfilled when the marriage is celebrated. In that group life. Why? Because the devas, we have invoked so many devas through fire ritual, and we speak of so many devas in the marriage ritual. They would all be present in their in an invisible manner, and bless us so that in us our nature stands oriented to us, and we continue our journey fulfilling the purposes of the soul. Therefore, a marriage ritual in every group life, I am not promoting marriages, but when they happen, it's a blessing. And when that happens, on the solstice day, it is still better. Not the other solstice, not the winter solstice, but summer solstice. What is happening in summer solstice? Sun comes to the house of the moon. That's why even in the old traditions, the bridegroom comes to the bride's place and gets married in the bride's house. The travel has to be by the bridegroom for the bride. It's not that the bride goes to the bridegroom's place to get married. So this is how the sun coming to moon's house. See? It is showering, it must shower. It's a great indication of Cancer coming. Cancer is the watery sign. They may have given a forecast that this Sunday will be very shiny, but first day of Cancer. It's a blessing when it rains. If it is not a thunder shower, it's blessed. So the blessing has to happen because the sun comes to moon's house. You see how sun is relaxed when he comes to moon's house. Sun is relaxed in moon's house, Cancer, and moon is in its own house. Cancer is moon's house. Moon is joyful. That joy is expressed as this rain. That's why in the month of Cancer, in the initial first week, if it rains, it's a great blessing for that year. And this blessing continues until what time? Until the winter solstice. That's how you need to work with the time dimensions relating to the solar year. Not sticking to the books and then leaving it at the mental plane. If you live the wisdom, if you live astrology, it's much more beautiful. So things cool down when it showers, and then there is the spring up from the earth of fresh life, fresh fertilization, germination and growth. All this is a splendorous Dharma that happens in nature and that happens in man. That's why in the traditional systems, when the son-in-law goes to father-in-law's house, he is very relaxed. Very relaxed because he is completely taken care of by the mother-in-law, father-in-law and the lady. All of them take care of the bridegroom when he comes home. Likewise, son is given the best comfort. The comfort is, in that comfort he rests, so that again in Leo he starts the game. So some of these dimensions have been expressed, and I think we have enough expression. Maybe we need to ease out for a while and come back for the noon prayer. It would be a very silent prayer. We do the prayer and then conclude the morning session. Thank you.